What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So clearly you see the title of the broadcast. And apparently Jasmine Crockett has put her foot in her neck. Has put her foot in the mouth again, people. Listen, look.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
So apparently Jasmine Crockett called, I think it's Kayla Hamilton, a young lady that was deleted by an illegal alien. I think it was maybe a year or two ago, something like that, to a degree. And she called this girl a random dead person while she was talking, and I guess she was in the Senate or, whatever, things like that. This is crazy right here. And these Democrats are just steadily just putting their foot in their mouth. So we're going to go here now. We're going to check this out, and we're going to run down some things. I'm going to show you some footage of what actually happened to this young lady and, what Trump had to say, also what her mother had to say. And then we're going to go to Fox News and see the update on the situation as well. So let's go here now, people. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Murdered by an illegal alien, a random dead person.
Stop just throwing a random dead person's name on something. Stop just throwing a random dead person's name on something.
Jasmine Crockett calls a young girl murdered by an illegal alien a random dead person.
Stop just throwing a random dead person's name on something. Stop just throwing a random dead person's name on something.
This is crazy. This is crazy. And she been putting her foot in her mouth for the longest now. For the longest. So, yeah, let's dive off into this. Let's go here now and see what actually happened to this young lady. And then we're going to go from here.
A brutal murder, a system that let it happen. And a question every parent should be asking: who's sitting next to my child in these government-run schools? Some Maryland lawmakers are trying to fix the failure. Others, they're blocking any attempts to right a deadly wrong. Our crime correspondent, Jason Matera, has the infuriating story.
Maryland Republicans recently pushed a bill to notify schools and parents when a student is under investigation for a violent crime and to remove that student from the classroom. But progressives in the state blocked it.
An MS-13 gang member, the main suspect killer, had enrolled in not just one, but two Maryland public schools. So what we had were innocent, defenseless children literally sitting in classrooms with a murder suspect. The Democrats, they tabled these bills up in committee. They never saw the light of day, no discussion, no vote, and total silence. This was outrageous.
The bill came after the brutal murder of 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton, a young woman with autism. She was killed by 16-year-old Walter Martinez, a member of MS-13 who crossed the border illegally in 2022. Despite gang affiliations and being a murder suspect, Martinez was allowed to enroll in a Maryland high school. The school wasn't even...
Now, I hope y'all remember when they was actually allowing this, the previous years, the previous 4 years here under the Biden administration, they were allowing these criminals like this, these young criminals, to be in schools. If y'all remember the news reports on that type of stuff, yeah, they was, what I'm saying, that's the reason why they started being so scared for ICE to go in these schools and stuff like that, because they were MS-13 kids basically in these schools.
Told he was under a criminal probe.
I testified for both bills for the state because when I found out that Walter Javier Martinez was in school, I was livid that this monster was next to other people's children in Maryland and had no idea. Parents didn't know, the school didn't know.
Kayla was living independently, had a boyfriend, and loved her job until her life was ripped away.
She was very happy, full life. She loved animals. She wanted to be a veterinarian. And then this monster takes her life in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Is just awful.
Kayla was asleep in her home when she was ambushed, raped, and strangled. The entire murder was captured on a voicemail as she dialed her boyfriend for help.
Now, hold on. Let's keep going.
There was a struggle. He grabbed her phone charging cord, was trying to get it around her neck. He missed and got it around her mouth. He finally got it around her neck, and he just continued strangling her. He rapes her, and then he just leaves her on the floor like trash.
Martinez was caught after DNA tied him to the crime. He pleaded guilty and got 70 years.
Okay, so this is where we at here. You clearly see what's going on here. So we're gonna keep going. And because there's always more. So now, what I'm saying, we got a little situation here with a mother speaking about her daughter and stuff like that, after the fact. Let's go here now.
Tammy Nobles. I am the mother of Kayla Hamilton. July 24th, 2002 was one of the best days of my life. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl and named her Kayla Marie. She was a happy and easygoing baby. Even back then, she loved to smile and laugh. She always kept her friends close and never forgot anyone. She was kind, caring, thoughtful, and funny. She loved life and God. She showed the world that being yourself was okay, and you didn't have to follow everyone else. But sadly, on July 27th, 2022, I received the worst news that a parent doesn't want to hear, that my newly 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered in her own room and left on the floor like trash. She left behind a mother who loved her, a stepfather, a brother, a younger sister, grandparents, and lots of aunts, uncles, and cousins. At first, we knew very little details of the murder until an arrest was made. The details we learned broke us. At the end of March of 2022, Kayla's murderer was apprehended by Border Patrol crossing illegally into the U.S. at the southwest border in Rio Grande City, Texas. I am not sure if he was vetted or not, but he was a 16-year-old known gang member affiliated with MS-13 in El Salvador. The MS-13 motto is kill, rape, and control. He entered the country as an unoccupied alien child. As a UAC, the murderer was allowed to go live with his aunt in Frederick, Maryland. She was also an illegal immigrant. There were issues with him living there, and he went to go live with his half-brother who lived in the same trailer park as Kayla and her boyfriend. My questions are, what protocol was the aunt supposed to follow? If she couldn't handle him, then why not inform the proper authorities? The half-brother tried to get him a job and to do the right thing, but that didn't happen. So the half-brother told him that he had to leave. At the trailer park, an illegal immigrant owned numerous trailers and was subletting them out. That is how Kayla was able to get a place, because she didn't make much and had no credit yet. The half-brother asked the owner if she had any rooms for rent. She did. The same trailer as Kayla. Kayla's murderer was living there less than 5 days before he viciously murdered my daughter. Kayla had 2 jobs. She was working.
Okay, so y'all get the point. It is what it is here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that young lady was very much loved by her family and things like that. She was taken out very tragically, senseless, for no reason. This kid, he was not even supposed to be here in the first place and things like that. And from the way she was explaining it, I think he got captured trying to re-enter, like he had left and then tried to re-enter or something like that, I think. But let's go here now. Let's see what Trump has to say about this.
So here today is another great person, an American mom, Tammy Nobles. 2 years ago, Tammy's 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, who had an autism diagnosis, was found raped, tied up and strangled to death with a telephone cord in her home. Kayla's murderer was an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member, among the most vicious gangs anywhere in the world. I took him out by the thousands, thanks to ICE. We're going to protect ICE. Kamala wanted to defund ICE. We didn't have ICE. We'd never get anybody out. They're tough and they're smart and they love our country. But an MS-13 gang member who was apprehended by Border Patrol, but under the policy of our border czar, Kamala, he was released into the United States to kill. Tammy, please come up and say a few words, please. Thank you. Please.
I just wanted to say that Homeland Security did not do their job. Health and Human Services did not do their job. The Biden-Harris administration did not do their job. If they would have done their job, made that one phone call to El Salvador, my daughter would still be alive today.
Shout out to that.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Shout out to that. Now, we're going to go current here because, you know, the reason why I took you through these different segments of videos to kind of get you, give you a good recap on this young lady situation, who she was, things like that, let you guys know she had family, and this was, you know, an actual situation in 2022. So, you know, we're going to go here now, and we're going to see what the fuck is Jasmine Crockett's problem out here. So we're going to go to Fox, of course, you know, shout out to Fox. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett sparking outrage for appearing to dismiss the murder of 20-year-old Kayla Hamilton, who was killed at the hands of an illegal immigrant in 2022. The House was debating a Republican-led bill named after Kayla when the Congresswoman made these comments. Listen.
You take a situation and then you exploit what has happened to not only that person, but you exploit those families and you make it a game. Stop just throwing a random dead person's name on something for your own political expediency.
Joining me now is Jeff Gaylor, the sheriff in the Maryland County where Kayla was killed, and Kayla Hamilton's mother, Tammy Nobles. Thank you both so much for joining us. Tammy, what was your reaction when you heard the Congresswoman describe your daughter like this?
I was really furious because you just don't call a victim of a crime just a random dead person.
Right.
No victim should be referred as a random dead person.
Right.
We were there. I mean, they were there discussing her bill, and she and what she said was really nasty, and it came across as racist.
Hold on.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
It came across as racist. Hey, listen, look, Jasmine Crockett has been putting her foot in her mouth for the longest, man. For the longest. And they seem to keep carrying that shit into the future here. It's like the Democratic Party. They just, of course, we already know they don't care. They don't care anymore. And I think the reason why they don't really care anymore wholeheartedly is because they know they're not finna win anything anytime soon. So they're just doubling down. That's what the situation with Charlie the Show, all types of stuff going on the internet now. That's what it's showing. They know that they're not finna get back in the White House anytime soon, or get the House and send all this type of stuff. They know they're not finna get that shit back anytime soon because of the way that they acted. So they're just going to double down and keep the treacherous bullshit going. This is crazy right here that Jasmine Crockett said this about this young lady, knowing that they're trying to pass a bill to because of what happened with this young lady. This is crazy out here, man.
Tammy, what do you remember the most about Kayla from when she was a little girl?
She was a very happy and energetic child. She loved unconditionally, and she just loved to enjoy, she enjoyed her life. She lived each day to the fullest. She loved going to church. She loved God. And she really cared for animals and the homeless. And she was just herself.
She was just herself. Maybe the Congresswoman will hear your memories and your words of your daughter and think twice before so callously dismissing somebody that was a beautiful young girl who turned into a beautiful young woman created in the image of God. Sheriff, should anybody, especially a sitting member of Congress, call somebody who was murdered a victim a random person?
No, of course not, and thank you for allowing me that. It breaks my heart to see Tammy on here talking about Kayla's life. Kayla was important. Her life mattered, and for Congressman Crockett to be so dismissive, so insensitive to a crime victim, any crime victim, it just speaks to the character of who we're electing from some jurisdictions around this country. That is pathetic. Is the best word I have for it.
Yes, pathetic. And disrespectful. And the disrespect is seeming to not stop. Jesus Christ. Now, this just popped off here because they was trying to get this bill passed, and Jesus, man, for this woman to sit there and say some random dead person, man, y'all, wow. Why? Who elected this woman? And how long does she have in office left? Like, seriously.
What the French toast is there to think
How
about?
long does she have in office left? Y'all need to we got to start getting these people out of these positions ASAP.
Worth noting that Kayla Hamilton and Rachel Morin were both killed in Hartford County, the county that you're the sheriff of. How does that happen?
Well, again, two women brutally murdered at the hands of illegal immigrants, people invited to this country by the prior presidential administration, and they took them up on it. They came and victimized our community, and there's nothing special about our county. That's happening across this country. But in our county, you hear about it because we're not going to let their lives be dismissed so arrogantly, so insensitively, as we saw from Congresswoman Crockett.
And neither of who were random, both whose lives deeply mattered. Tammy, it is the House was debating the bill that you said, the Kayla Hamilton Act, when the Congresswoman made these comments. So tell us about that act, and maybe we could use this moment to promote it as opposed to what she was hoping to do with what she was saying.
Yes, so the Kayla Hamilton Act is they will check, do an extra check for any UIC that comes across the border from 12 to 17, see if they have any gang tattoos. They already get medical checks as it is, and all they're doing is just looking, real quick to see if they have any gang related tattoos. And also they will be required to do a background check in their country that they came from, because her murderer, he did have a criminal record in El Salvador in 2020 for illicit gang activity. And they did not check his background in El Salvador. They just checked his background in the United States and said that he had no crime. Well, of course not. He hasn't even been here yet. And also it will check the sponsors that they are giving these children to. Mm-hmm. They will check for their legal status, social security numbers, addresses, do full background checks on their sponsors. So we know who they're giving these children to. Not only we are protecting, our citizens, but we're also protecting the children against any, gang activity or any individual who's going to be caring for them.
Understood.
It's very important to protect the children.
To make sure that what happened to your daughter doesn't happen to anybody else. And it did just pass the House Judiciary Committee, so that's a good first step. Tammy, you brought a beautiful young woman into this world.
That's where we at, people.
What the French toast is there?
That's where we at. So Jasmine Crockett, yet again, is talking out the side of her neck. She's on blast yet again for being stupid out here. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and this is sad that she, just blatantly disregarded this young girl and her life, stuff like that. And yes, her mother's not standing for it. And as you can clearly see, I get it. I wouldn't stand for it neither if my child was in that same position. Man, this is wild out here. And this is where we at, people. This is who running the country. This is who talking out the side of their necks while sitting here trying to make laws and pass, bills and stuff like that, that we actually need. I like that bill. Yes, background checks, and the people that are supposedly the handlers or whatever, they get background checks too when they're, shipping these children over here from these other countries and stuff like that. And also, to try to protect them from trafficking as well. I get that too. So yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Jasmine Crockett needs to go somewhere and have a long seat off a fucking short pier.
What the French toast is there to think about?
But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.